We are live. What is going on, everyone? Thank you all so very much for tuning in. Everybody that's tuning in at this time, I greatly appreciate it. Anybody that's watching this on the replay, thank you so much. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Talk about a total just destruction. Just get completely ran out the gym. Good old fashioned behind the barn beatdown. Just a total just whoop it. Part of me defaults to, like, hey, Philly, how often do teams shoot and make 23 threes or whatever it was that they made? Part of it is just, hey, we're missing three of our four best perimeter guys. That'll make an impact on both sides of the basketball. Like, I know many people don't think Jared Vanderbilt will help much on the offensive side. He absolutely will. Just simply getting rebounds, hustle plays, steals, which lead to transition points, which will help boost the scoring total, like all of that, right? There's a lot that goes into it. But it's just, part of me defaults to, like, this Laker team just doesn't have it right now. Like, this is becoming a relative common occurrence. And I'm not even talking about, like, them being down 20. They're down 20 almost every game, right? And having to play catch up. It's just, that is frustrating. But these just getting smacked, it's just, every time we had an opportunity, Philly kept trying to let us back into the game. We cut it to 11, right? Boom. They go on a run, push it back to 20, right? Oh, we cut it again. Boom, push it back to 20. And then at that point, we just waved the white flag, and that was it. Lakers were done. It was a wrap. And it's just, again, it's frustrating because this is becoming a common thing. Like, this isn't an outlier to where, I could come up here and be like, hey, you know what? Games like this happen. No big deal. Brush it off. No, it's not. Like, this is becoming who the Lakers are in many ways. We need consistency. That's the problem. Like, guys just aren't being consistent, right? Like, and I know a lot of people want to wait and see how does this team look, and all that stuff. And, like, I do, to an extent, I do. But there's some glaring holes that this team has that Vanderbilt, Reddish, Vincent, and Rui aren't going to fix, aren't going to solve. Now, they'll help a lot. Like, once we're healthy and we get in the flow of things and we figure stuff out and we can kind of navigate through this season, like, don't get me wrong, I think we'll be much better than we have been. But there's still clearly some issues with this team. There's clearly things that they need, like another consistent scorer, right? This D'Lo and Reeves showing up randomly in every other game, and some games being unplayable, some games they're great, but we've only had like one game where they both play well together. We're gonna lose more games than we're gonna win with the way that the Lakers are just performing right now. And it's frustrating to see this. It's frustrating to see the Lakers just continually playing this way. And again, I do think the injuries play a part. Absolutely, the injuries play a part. But it's not the entire part. There's several parts to this Lakers team that is an issue. Right? The injuries, again, will help a lot. Vando coming back will help a lot. But he's not the cure-all. He's not the Michael Jordan secret sauce that's going to go and just get us back, right? Like, this is becoming a problem. This is becoming who the Lakers' identity and the Lakers' habits. And that's not something that I want to see the Lakers do. The Lakers should be better than this, right? The Lakers should be at least a competent team that can at least be competitive. I'm not saying that we had to win this game, but to lose by 34 points or whatever it was, like, that's uncalled for. That's ridiculous, even with them shooting the lights out, right? Like, I wanted this to be competitive. I wanted this to be a close game. I wanted us to, at the end of this game, be like, hey, you know what? Yeah, we lost, but hey, look at what this team did if everybody's healthy, right? I wanted to be able to come up here and have a positive twist and narrative on this. But there is nothing positive. There's no positive twist with this. There isn't. And I just don't see that. I don't see how we can. I don't see where the light is at the end of the tunnel with this game. At least this game. Again, I think this team will be very good. I think this team has the potential to kind of right the ship and get to where they need to get. But right now, it's just like it's atrocious. We're playing terrible basketball on both sides that injuries aren't going to fix. But anyway, let's dive into the box score here in a moment, and then we'll talk about the we'll answer all your super chat questions and stuff like that. Sorry, give me 1 second. Trying to set this up real quick. Sorry, give me 1 second. There we go. Okay. All right, where were we? Sorry, I was trying to set that up real quick. It wasn't working. All right, so dive into the box scores, and like I said, we'll answer your super chat questions and all your regular questions, get through this. So Taurean Prince did shoot better, which is nice and gives me some hope that maybe he can start turning it around because we need that badly. We need Taurean Prince to start hitting some shots for the Lakers. He ended up shooting 3 of 6 from the field. All 3 of those came in the third quarter. So I'm hoping that can be like this is the beginning stages of like him riding the ship. But I don't know. We haven't seen enough. We've seen more of a sample size that he's just going to disappear again, rather than a sample size that like, oh no, he's going to be trending in a positive direction. So I'm hoping that this is the beginning stages for him, but we'll see. Time will tell. LeBron James, 18 points, 5 assists. He had 0 rebounds, which is insane to me. I didn't even know that until I just saw these box scores, which is why we go over this. LeBron had 0 rebounds. Like, when have you ever seen LeBron James with 0 rebounds? That is extremely surprising. Also, LeBron was our second worst he was a minus 30. Hayes was a minus 33. Man, so this 2 straight games in a row, LeBron just hasn't had it. I wonder if that Dallas injury is playing a part in it. But it's just, again, it's really rough. Anyway, Anthony Davis, 17 points, 11 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. He really got us going early. I thought this was going to be another positive game. And then the Lakers just started to go completely away from him. I don't know why that keeps happening. I don't know why the Lakers just keep going completely away from Anthony Davis, especially when we need him. I'm not saying that us getting him the basketball more and hammering the ball to him would have been the difference maker in this game. But again, it's about building habits. It's about developing those good habits. And we keep getting into this habit where Anthony Davis will start off great. We're getting him the basketball. We're making a conscious effort to get him the basketball. And then we just go completely away from it. And it's again, frustrations. Max Christie had a decent game, 3 of 6 from the field, 0 of 3 from 3. He was doing what he could. You don't really expect anything too crazy from him. D'Lo did shoot 50%, but he was very low impact this game. He really was. Gave us 12 points, 7 assists. Reeves, 12 points, 2 assists, 2 rebounds. Again, might as well not even been out there in many cases. Struggled shooting the basketball. Jackson Hayes, again, was out there. It's one of the reasons why, like, this game, I felt like you really saw why I've talked heavily about, like, Jackson Hayes is a limited minutes guy, is a guy that just plays in spots, high energy guy that you can put in spots. He's not a guy that you can ride heavily because he gets too foul happy, doesn't rebound the basketball well. Again, he's a high energy guy that you get out there that can be a rim pressure and lob threat. That's what he is. But anyway, let's dive into your super chats and all of your questions and answers and concerns and everything like that. Again, tough game. Plus the amount of points we gave up, right? We gave up 138 points. That's just inexcusable. Absolutely inexcusable. The most frustrating part is the Sixers are a jump shooting team that attempt 43 3-pointers, but they have 23 free throws. I don't get it. Lakers only have 13 because you have Joel Embiid, who he averages like 20 free throws a game. And when that happens, it's kind of hard to out free throw somebody, especially when guys like LeBron never get calls. That's how it goes. You're I'm with you, man. I am with you. Lakers only attempted 28 threes. Pathetic performance from everybody. Yep, that's a great way to put it. Completely just bent over. Completely bent over. Tyler, the frustrating part is we had a chance to be the 4 seed with this win, but we lose by 44 and we back to the 8th seed. How frustrating I'm just frustrated at seeding. I get it. I mean, seeding is great, but this early, it's not like a huge importance, right? Like, obviously, if the Lakers were the 1 seed, we'd be celebrating, we'd be happy and stuff like that, but it doesn't really mean anything, right? Like, every year you see, like last year, you had the 1 seed change hands like 10 different times between Utah and Utah, the Pelicans, right? You had like all these teams kind of cycling through the 1 seed. That's usually what happens early on in the season. I'm not too concerned with them seeding wise right now, but I'm more concerned about just like winning these basketball games. And again, the habits that these Lakers are developing. It's not a good look. We just don't look good. I prefer, I feel you. Embiid is a flopper. I hate his play style. Yeah, that's what he does. He lives at the free throw line. Again, it's easy to get 30 points a game when you're shooting 20 free throws a game. I mean, more times than not, you're going to have that result. Reeves is evolving from a good player to a dribble player with zero defense. It is crazy. Like, again, he can't stay consistent this season, right? He has games where he's great and brilliant, and then he follows that up with several games where he's just terrible. It's frustrating. Thoughts on C. Wood? First off, thank you so much for Super Chat. Really appreciate that. I mean, the guy's hasn't lived up. Again, he's fallen into the lack of consistency by the Lakers as everyone else. Right? Like, he has games where he'll go and give you 17 and shoot 60% from the field. And it's like, there's Christian Wood. There's the guy we needed. There's the guy we've been hyping up. There's the guy we've been talking about. And then, the next 3 games, he's 0 of 5 from 3, and just basically unplayable out there. It's tough, man. That's my biggest problem. And it's why part of me really leans heavily into, like, we need a DeMar DeRozan. We need a Zach LaVine. Right? I still love the depth of this team. I still love the overall front to back talent of this team, but nobody on this team has shown that they can be a consistent third scorer. Nobody on this team has shown that they can consistently night in and night out, provide that production. If you go get a guy like a DeMar DeRozan, now you have that third guy. So if Reeves has, an inconsistent game, you can still win those games. If other guys have inconsistent games, you still win those games. The problem is that if Reeves has a bad game and D'Lo has a bad game, right, we're not winning those games. We're losing all of them, right? So it's just we're so reliant on guys that just can't be consistent. Where if you get a guy like a DeMar DeRozan or something like that, now C. Wood and now Reeves or whomever we end up keeping, now all those guys got to kind of get to default into lesser roles that aren't as important, where maybe they will be more consistent because the pressure isn't as high and they're not playing as important of a roles. Now, instead of needing Reeves or D'Lo to go get you 30 combined, we only need, Reeves to go get you 12. Like, I don't know. It's just Wood has fallen into that trap of just lack of consistency from guys, and it's frustrating. But anyway, thank you so much for the Super Chat. Coming in hot with the $2 Super Chat. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Tonight showed why we need a third. I was just doing my rant about that. You read my mind. You did. You read my mind. And again, I appreciate the Super Chat very much. We do. Again, we don't necessarily need a third superstar, but we need a third consistent guy. That's why, like, whoever it is, DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, if somebody else becomes available, whatever. I love this team's depth. I love the talent front to back on this roster. Guys just don't have it. We don't, like, Reeves is clearly not a third guy. Neither is D'Lo. They just aren't. They haven't been. But if you get that third guy, well, now Reeves gets to be the 4th or 5th guy. Now he's not as important, not as impactful, not needed as significant, right? Now you have Wood, who, like, everyone kind of just goes back to their natural. You go get a guy like that, go get a DeMar DeRozan or whatever. Now you got that guy that game in and game out. You know what you're going to get from him. You know you're going to get 20 plus a night. So now if Reeves has a bad night, it's not a big deal, right? Because now you still have a DeMar DeRozan going and giving you 20 plus. You have an Anthony Davis who can hopefully, give you 25 to 30. I mean, if everyone plays bad, then everyone plays bad. It doesn't matter. But the games in which we've had multiple games this year where it's like if we just had one other guy step up, we'd probably win those games, right? So that's the difference. So if we need that consistent third scorer, that third star. We need somebody that can help us, at least, especially in the starting games, right? Because Anthony Davis was going, but nobody else was helping him. Nobody. Where if you had a DeMar DeRozan, maybe DeMar goes and gives you 10 or 12 in the first quarter along with AD's 10. And now maybe you're winning the first quarter, maybe you're tied and you've weathered the storm. And it just the consistency, right? Like so many people ask, why keep the depth? Go again. It's not about having to have it. It's about the consistency. And nobody on this team can show they can consistently game in and game out put it together. How many times are we going to say, look, Reeves is starting to figure it out? Like it's been 20 games and the guy's still who he's been. I love Reeves. I love D'Lo. When they're on, they're amazing, but they can't consistently do it. But we'll see. Time will tell. Time will tell. But where were we in the chat? Already got that one. Okay, perfect. They are building bad habits, which is my point. Yeah. Coaching staff are the main problem. If you keep your players building bad habits, then it's a wrap, no doubt. This team is not a championship contender. But as a coach, how do you change these bad habits? How do you force guys to make shots? How do you force guys to pick up the energy? How do you force guys to, not be injured? How do you force, again, at some point it's got to fall on the players, right? Like the coach, what is Darvin Ham supposed to do? Right? Like you can't teach effort. You can't teach rebounding. To chase down loose balls, stop giving up second chance points, to box out. Like, what is he supposed to do? He's supposed to sit everybody and just play the G League team for 5 games just to prove a point? I don't know what the answer is. We haven't beat the Sixers since March 2020. Yeah, which is not good. Yo, what's going on? How are you, Daniel? Yes, bad loss. Bad loss, to put it nice. Embiid mastered the art of drawing fouls. He really has. Salute, y'all. Zach LaVine around the corner. Yeah, at this rate, we're really going to need him. We really are. I thought y'all turned it around. Well, clearly not. What's up, Captain Crutch? How are you, Lee? Appreciate you being here. 0 rebounds for LeBron is crazy. Part of the issue is our best players aren't volume 3-point shooters. Yes, agreed. Guys can't hit threes. Lakers don't play hard. Yep, it's becoming a problem. I know not what we want to hear, but Lakers is not a contending team. I mean, look, I've said that constantly the last few weeks. Literally, I have said that I don't believe they're not a contending team right now, without a doubt. It's the truth. You're spot on. Lakers are not a contending team. Pretty far from that. Big moves will be needed. Not one win against top team thus far. Suns without Booker and Cavs with no Garland. Well, Garland started. He got hurt later on. And the Suns did have Bradley Beal. But they aren't a contender. I agree with you. Lakers, this current Laker team is not a contender. Right? They're a fringe playoff team at best right now. That doesn't mean they can't get there. Right? But the way the Lakers are playing right now has been terrible. Terrible. I've been telling you this injured players are not saving us. They're not saving everything, but they will definitely have an impact. Jared Vanderbilt, it will be a huge impact player. I mean, last year, Jared Vanderbilt alone, completely revamped the Lakers. Literally, by himself. Lakers went from middle of the pack defensively to the number 1 defense with just Jared Vanderbilt. And so you add in him, you add in Cam Reddish, you add in Rui Hachimura, you add in Gabe Vincent, right? The Lakers are probably at worst top 5 defensively. They're 11th right now. So they're at worst top 5 defensively. And Jared Vanderbilt will help with the offense because he's going to help get rebounds. He's going to help get out in transition. He's going to create turnovers. He's going to create missed shots by the opposing teams. Like they're not completely saving everything. Again, they're not the cure-all, but to say like they're not going to fix anything, like they will definitely fix a lot. There was no rebound. That's a good point. There was no rebound for them to get. They never missed. That's true. 138 points is crazy. But, I mean, it's not crazy when they're shooting the lights out the way they did. Is the reason you need a third star, consistently scoring the basketball because our duos are not playing hard. Agreed. 80 got 11 rebounds. With that roster, we'll take a 4-0 against Denver, Mavs, Kings, and that's it. Everyone played hard. That's not the issue. We don't have the shooting yet. We lack shooting badly. And defense. Lakers are lazy. Staff is trash. Ham can't pick them. We just had an off night, and Philly was on fire. I think that was part of it. But again, this is kind of becoming a bit of a trend, which is becoming an issue. Lakers love to be down 20. Pat Bev and Morris played the best game of their season, too. So there's that. Yeah, absolutely. We need a third star, someone who's a consistent scorer. I don't care who it is. Need to get a real star, preferably a guard wing combo. Agreed. I am with you. It's a game over it. Let's see. Shaking my head. Lakers missed every shot and got in so much foul trouble. It's ridiculous. Yeah. So what happens when a team has Joel Embiid and the refs just give him calls for everything? The backcourt is the problem. LeBron is the least of our problem. Yeah, LeBron definitely isn't our problem. Did he get into foul trouble too? Yeah. How many shot attempts did AD have again? I think he had, 10? Something, 14? I think he had 14. 14. He was 7 of 14 from the field. And, again, he had, 10 of those in the first half. Our backcourt just can't compete. Reeves, D'Lo, Christie, not going to consistently beat these backcourts. Agreed. Which is why I think until we do a trade or whatever, I think you got to go D'Lo, Reddish, Vando, LeBron, and AD. Right? And I know people are concerned about the shooting. We can't shoot anyway. So who cares? Lock down defensively. We need the athleticism out on the perimeter. Jared Vanderbilt and Cam Reddish would both provide that. You hope D'Lo, now that he doesn't have to defend the second best player on the other team, because you have Cam Reddish and Jared Vanderbilt, you hope D'Lo can be better productive offensively. You run a bunch of actions to get motion, hopefully. And then, LeBron and AD hopefully can carry the workload. Whatever Cam Reddish and Jared Vanderbilt provide, shooting the basketball, getting great. At least, hopefully, we don't get blown out in these games, because we're at least defensively picking it up to where we have the energy to kind of stay competitive, and then you make the adjustments and you make the changes accordingly as the game progresses. That's my answer. That's how I would approach it. The Lakers love to give cross-court passes. It's crazy. Let's see. Anthony Davis goes away from Anthony Davis. He is not that guy. I mean, Anthony Davis definitely needs to be more assertive, be more demanding of the basketball. That's right. Don't forget to hit that like button. Help cheer this Rudy Boo jabroni up. Yes, take a second. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed. Bring some good news to this to this disaster, this debacle. I just feel maybe it's our system, the way players thrive when they leave here. But, I mean, we've ran different – I mean, it was the same thing with Frank Vogel, right? I mean, we've ran so many different systems. I think part of it is just the pressure of being a Laker. I think part of it is just guys tend to default to LeBron too much. I think it's a combination of things. I really do. I think it's that because, I mean, it's always been a Laker thing. I mean, even back to Phil Jackson days, right? Like, it's just how it goes, right? Like, guys are on the Lakers and then they go to another team and then – they're just better because they don't have the pressure. There's not the demand of greatness. I do agree Rui isn't utilized. I agree. Um, the backcourt isn't dynamic enough, which is why I think you just lean into the defense, you lean into the size. Put Cam Reddish at the 2, right? If we do go trade for a DeMar DeRozan or whatever, then you put DeMar at the point, put because you have LeBron out there. So just for position's sake, you put DeMar at the point, Reddish at the 2, Vando at the 3, LeBron at the 4, AD at the 5. If you do, and in the meantime, until you end up making a trade or whatever, you do same thing. D'Lo at the point, Reddish at the 2. That way you have the athleticism, you have the size. At least you can defend. At least you have some switchability. Hopefully you're rebounding better, right? Because we can't shoot the basketball. Like we just can't shoot. So you might as well go just lean in heavily into the defense. I'm afraid it's the core. Excuse me. The team is solely dependent and reliant on LeBron to bring the energy and competitiveness every game. I think we really need another energy guy, which is why I think Vando will help a lot in that department too, because you're not going to have to question him. And another reason why I think Vando and Reddish make a lot of sense, because you'll have constant energy. Not going to have to worry about energy. You're not going to have to worry about effort with those two guys in the starting line. And hopefully that'll be what gets guys going. And then, again, you make the adjustments accordingly. Too many offensive rebounds. They play sloppy basketball, no energy, and you see that Orlando squad, even without a star, they just play hard. It's all about play hard, energy, and defense wins championships at all. Yep. Lack of effort, which, like I said, is becoming a trend. Clint, I see your thing. I can't put that on the screen, but yeah, definitely. I am with you. 80 isn't a jump shooter anymore, so he's easier to defend. Our backcourt isn't getting him open shots. Agree. Why are we blaming a 38-year-old who gave up an easy 18? This team backcourt sucks. Yeah, this isn't on LeBron. Yep, we lost by 44. We lost by 44. Yeah, I'm with getting DeMar. Johnny, Lakers need it. They really do. They need it. They need it, and they need it badly. I agree. We don't look good. What do you feel like can change if how LeBron may be injury? AD is sometime, but today he was in foul trouble. So man, I don't know. Again, I do think once like Jared Vanderbilt and Cam Reddish and those guys are healthy, I do think it will change a lot. Again, it's not going to solve everything, but I do think it'll help on both sides of the basketball. Because with Vanderbilt, you're going to get effort, you're going to get energy, you're going to get top defense. You're talking about arguably the best on-ball defender in the league. I mean, the things he did last season was ridiculous. It's going to take a little time when he comes back because obviously he's got to get his feet under him. Right? He's got to get into a rhythm. He's got to get his timing down. Yes, even defensively, you have to get your timing down, right? Timing on how guys push the ball. Like, what's this guy's little twitches? What are these? What is that? Little nuances. But once we get like Vando and Reddish healthy together out there, I really do think that they're going to help a lot. Because just defensively, we're going to be better, which that'll lead into more opportunities on the offensive side to where you can make up for poor shooting nights, right? Because you're getting stops on the other side. Like, to me, it's just fixing the energy. And we need to interject those energy guys. And I think Vando and Reddish are those guys that'll help. See, would we be better if our guards created better shots? Yeah, we don't have great creation at times. But also, it's kind of hard for D'Lo when he doesn't get to play point guard, right? Like all the games that we have seen, which haven't been a ton, but like last year and this year, the games we have seen without LeBron James where D'Lo got to be the point guard, the Lakers looked really good and D'Lo looked great. The problem is that like he doesn't get to just full-time play point guard. He has to constantly play off the ball. He's giving it up to Reeves. He's giving it up to LeBron. Like, I mean, even D'Lo expressed like his frustrations. Like, I don't know what they want me to do. Like, I don't know what my role is. And I think that's the problem. The Lakers are trying to have too many guys wear too many jackets rather than just like D'Lo, you're the point guard. Run the point guard. LeBron, You wanted us to get you a point guard so you could play off the ball more. Stop taking the ball out of D'Lo's hands, right? Like, there's no real structure, right? It's kind of like whatever LeBron, there's no definitive roles for guys, right? Like, and I think that that's a big problem too. Again, I'm not trying to defend D'Lo. D'Lo has been very inconsistent and been very bad this year. But I also think a lot of it is just guys don't know their roles. Every time we win or lose, it shows why we need a third star. I feel like. I can't think of a backcourt that's worse than ours. Maybe the Nets. You might be up there. You might be right. I'm not gonna lie, they all suck. Yep. No, tonight showed why we need a fully healthy team. But even if we do, might still suck if I'm going to be honest, which is why I think we need to trade also. He isn't going to make up 44 points, but he definitely impacts the long term and game by game. We are nowhere near a contender. Agreed. Is a decent option, but LaVine is movement shooter that can open up the offense. Look, I like LaVine. Like there is a genuine argument that LaVine is a much better fit for the Lakers than DeMar DeRozan. The problem I have with LaVine is he's making $40+ million a year, and it only goes up. And like we could get DeMar DeRozan for like half the cost. He does a lot of the same stuff. He doesn't have the athleticism. He doesn't have the rim pressure. Sorry, blanked on that. The rim pressure with the athleticism and stuff like that. Right? He doesn't have like the lateral shooting or movement shooter. Right? DeMar is kind of more get to his spot, pull up. But I think DeRozan. I lean more DeRozan because I just think, one, he'll be more willing to fit into his role, and two, he's just half the cost, or nearly half the cost, 2/3 of the cost. DeRozan or LaVine works. They both be enough. Agreed. I'm all for either one. Right? Like I don't care which one. I just think going and getting DeMar, it's the cheaper, safer option. Where LaVine, you're kind of stuck with. LeBron is satisfied with one chip. I don't think so. I don't think this has anything to do with LeBron. LeBron's been doing what he can. I feel like we are putting pressure on players because other teams, they weren't consistent and it didn't matter, but some were. I just feel like we expect these players to be more than what they are. Yeah, because again, it's the Lakers. Like most teams, it isn't championship or bust, right? With the Lakers, it is. There is that pressure. We need guys to step up. We need guys to play bigger roles. DeMar isn't enough, to be honest. Mitch or LaVine would be. Look, I just like DeMar's consistency. And I think you could get other pieces, which DeMar is not a winner. Hell no. I mean, how many guys are? Like, DeMar, you can make an argument DeMar DeRozan might have a championship by now if it wasn't for LeBron James. Right? I mean, like, who are you going to get that's a winner? Anthony Davis wasn't a winner before we traded for him, and the Lakers won a championship with him. Right? Like, again, DeMar DeRozan wouldn't be the number one guy. Zach LaVine isn't a winner. Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, if they become available, they're not winners. Like, unless you're – I mean, Joel Embiid isn't a winner. So if Joel Embiid became available, would you not want him because he's not a winner? Like, that's silly. We were 7 of 28 from three-point line. The 76ers were 22 of 46. Yep. Mitch will put up playoff stinkers, and LaVine isn't consistent either, and only has good stats as a first option. Well, I mean, we've never really seen LaVine as like a third option. So, I mean, and the Lakers very likely let him be LaVine. I mean, if they're smart, they will, right? Let him go take his 17 shots a game or whatever, right? Not really worried about that. I do agree that LaVine is very inconsistent, which is a concern. Where that's another reason why I lean towards DeMar is because I think DeMar, you know what you're going to get from it. We don't have a guy that can play off of AD like Maxi with Embiid yet. Facts. It's Josh Giddey's fault. I don't expect Mitchell to get traded this season. Maybe next summer. Yeah, I don't see him being available this summer. Yes, but right now, nah. And even if we did, we don't have the assets to get Donovan Mitchell. The Knicks want Donovan Mitchell terribly, and like they could put together like a disgraceful package, and it would still be better than ours. Yeah, I like DeMar too. I think LaVine gives you a little more than what DeMar does, but personally, I lean towards DeMar just because of the salary. Smash that thumbs. Yes, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. DeMar isn't a movement shooter. Our offense would be even worse. I don't think we would be. I mean, I get your point about being a rhythm shooter, but you have LeBron to create. AD is going to draw so much attention. DeMar, you can put DeMar on an island in so many ways. You can run so many pick and pop actions. You're going to get that from DeMar. Like, I think our offense would be much better. DeMar DeRozan, I mean, DeMar DeRozan's still able to give you LaVine and DeMar aren't that much different. Only thing is DeMar has more playoff experience and on a better contract, which is kind of my point. Let's see. Unless some of this is addition by subtraction, getting rid of D'Lo would be an improvement to this team. If we get any athletic guard, it's a major improvement. Well, then you got to go with LaVine. I do think we need an athletic guard, which is where LaVine would come in. Like DeMar doesn't give you the athleticism. My biggest concerns with LaVine are just like, look, I think LaVine would have a bigger overall impact. I think LaVine, again, gives you that rim pressure, gives you that athleticism, gives you better three-point shooting, gives you that movement shooter, gives you over-the-top shooting, gives you everything that you need from a scorer. My concern is his attitude at times, his lack of consistency, his contract. His contract is terrible. And I think DeMar, again, would be more willing to fit in, would be more understanding. I think he still gives you a lot of those things. He doesn't give you as much of a range as LaVine does. But look, I'm all for either. If the Lakers can go and get LaVine, like if the Lakers trade for LaVine tomorrow, I'm not going to be up here complaining. I'm going to be pumped, right? So we'll see. But Reeves playing FIBA in the summer was not a good idea, coming straight out of the first real 82-game season. Next offseason, take a day on vacation. I'm sure he will next offseason. I'm taking DeRozan over D'Lo any day. I agree. That was very humiliating. I am with you. Lakers looked more like a team that might miss the play-in, to be honest, even a fully healthy roster. But, yeah, never know. I mean, you never know, yeah. Let's see. Spencer Dinwiddie would be an upgrade over D'Lo, too. I wouldn't mind Spencer Dinwiddie. Like, Spencer Dinwiddie would be nice. That'd be a nice pickup. LaVine won't be the answer for this team. Maybe DeMar. Both of them would be a huge answer. Again, they don't solve everything, but they solve most of things. DeMar is athletic, not jump out of the gym like LaVine. Which is my point. He's not like a hyper athlete. He's not blowing by guys on a regular basis. Like he's more methodical, more get to his point. Like I'm not saying he's some like, I'm not saying he's like D'Lo athletically, right? I'm not saying he's like me athletic. He's definitely athletic, but he doesn't give you the rim pressure that LaVine does. He doesn't give you that athleticism out on the perimeter the way that LaVine does, right? Like DeMar definitely is athletic. I'm not saying he's like this just snail. DeMar's actually been better than LaVine, and he's also been better defensively than LaVine. So again, there's pros and cons for either of them. I just think LaVine gives you more gives you more dynamic offense, gives you more range offensively than DeMar does. But I do like DeMar DeRozan. I mean, I've been preaching DeMar, and I still really believe DeMar is going to be a Laker. One of those two will be a Laker. I still think it's going to end up being DeMar. But again, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Is an elite deep mid-range threat. He will still provide spacing. Agreed. Rely on Braun to score and play defense every night is crazy. We need another motor so you can switch off on all three different positions scoring where it's not all on Braun and AD, but really Braun. Agreed. I am right there with you. Oh, I got to grab my charger real quick. Give me 1 second. Don't go nowhere. I'll be right back. We're back. I don't know why I shut the screen off. I didn't mean to shut the screen off, but all right, where were we in the chat? People come to Lakers as great 3-point shooters and get cursed to the Bermuda trifecta. Yeah. DeRozan also is an elite slasher, so if his shot is off, he can still contribute offensively and draw contact. Yeah, look, I am with you on DeMar DeRozan. If AD woke up and said, wait a minute, I'm unstoppable. Even if he did, the Lakers have to get him the basketball. Like, Anthony Davis could be the greatest player ever. But if he never gets the basketball and the team isn't actively getting him the basketball, he's not a perimeter guy. He's not a guy that's going to bring the ball up. Like, how many times do we just completely go away from AD? Look, AD has to be more assertive. Don't get me wrong. AD has to be more assertive and more aggressive. I completely get that. But he's our best player. He is unstoppable when he has the basketball in his hands. But we got to get the basketball in his hands. Let's see. Yeah, I like DeMar. I like DeMar than LaVine in my fantasy team. Traded D'Lo for DeMar and won a championship. I like both either way, but I do kind of lean towards DeMar. Lakers look like they'll miss the play-in if they get LaVine. His contract is too big. They'll end up having to sign vet minimums. No, because most of their guys, like if the Lakers are good and they win a chip, like most of their guys are on 2-year deals and they can opt in and the Lakers could have bird rights. Like I'm not worried about that. And look, we've gone the depth route and it hasn't worked, right? Like, so we need that third consistent star. LeBron isn't 27 anymore and he's only going to get older, right? Like, so I don't mind the LaVine thing. I don't like his contract. Like, because like I said, we literally could trade for LaVine or we could trade for DeMar, Caruso, and Andre Drummond. I'm not saying that we'd be able to get all three, but like just for salary wise, like we could get 3 guys as opposed to 1 for the same price as LaVine. Lock down defensively and get stops for easy buckets. That'll pipe the energy. Hopefully defense wins games, even if we can't shoot. Yes, agreed. Wait, are you saying trade Reeves, Tyler? No, I'm talking. I mean, I don't care who they trade at this point. I mean, you're going to have to trade somebody, whether it's Reeves, whether it's Rui, whether it's D'Lo. But no, they're going to end up trading D'Lo is who it is. But I'm not saying they should trade Reeves by any stretch. But somebody's going. If we trade for LaVine, we're going to end up having to give up a couple guys. Like, I don't know if they're going to want D'Lo and all that other stuff, right? Like, they might, like, what if it is like Reeves, Gabe Vincent, and Rui Hachimura? You know, then what? Do you say no? Right? Like, I don't know. That's a question for Rob Pelinka. Just trade the whole bench. This game was a blowout. I hate to keep laying everything on the shoulders of Vando, but I do believe you will see a completely different energy and effort when he returns. Agreed. I am with you. They come to us and they suck, Tom. It don't make no sense. Exactly. It don't make any sense. Believe me. Embiid and Maxey are the most efficient and highest scoring duo in the NBA. These dudes buckets, big time players. Yep. Very true. The Clippers and Warriors are getting closer to our record. I hope they're going to win versus the Pistons. So I believe they will. I think they'll beat the Pistons. I mean, they should. We cannot lose to the Pistons. We cannot lose to the Pistons. For the first time since 2010 with no rebounds in a game. That's crazy. Good shooting spreads. Pat couldn't shoot in LA. Now he's money in Philly because everyone can shoot. But yeah, I talk about it all the time. Shooting is contagious. Yep. Wouldn't teams just hard cover whatever score Laker get since they struggle without one right now anyways? I mean, no, because the problem is, like, so right now teams are, for the most part, are either just basically running a soft zone on us, or they're basically hammering Anthony Davis in the interior, right? They're trying to keep us from getting to AD. So basically, teams are saying we would rather give you the open shot and have you beat us on a shooter than anything else, right? That's why the Lakers get so many wide open shots, because teams are so worried about them getting the ball into AD. So if we got a guy like DeMar DeRozan, that makes things so much more difficult because DeMar can create for himself, right? So now you can't just put somebody one-on-one with DeMar DeRozan, because DeMar DeRozan, more likely than not, is going to cook them, right? So now you have to worry about that. And then you have LeBron's passing to add to that. You got a guy like DeMar who is a slasher to get to the basket. You can run some actions. That's where coaching would come in, running certain sets, certain actions to get guys open. If you get LaVine, a lot of the same stuff. You have that rim pressure. He can just blow by guys. So it changes the entire defensive landscape for opposing teams, because now you can't just pack into Joel Embiid, right? Like you see with the Sixers, for example, right? Teams can't defend Joel Embiid the way that they defend Anthony Davis, because they have to worry about Tyrese Maxey going off and being able to get to the rim, being able to score and shoot over the defense, being able to knock down threes. That's what somebody like a LaVine or things like that would do. So if the Lakers were able to get one of those, like a legit scorer that teams would have to be worried about. Again, they're not really worried about Reeves. They're not really worried about D'Lo. They're letting those two go one-on-one. They see it all the time. They're letting Reeves and they're letting D'Lo go one-on-one. And the way they look at it is, hey, if those guys beat us tonight, then they beat us tonight. Teams aren't going to be able to do that with a DeMar DeRozan who's proven that he can beat you, that he'll go get you 50, right? Or Zach LaVine, go get you 50. Like the defense just becomes way different for opposing teams. I think we are letting guys off the hook. Desmond, they played better instead of trying to trade them. Demand. I don't know why I read that as Desmond. Been looking at a screen all day. Been streaming for like 6 hours. You can demand all you want. You don't think Darvin Ham and everybody is like thought of that? You don't think everybody's like, we need to play better? Like, you can demand all you want. People have to actually do it. Maybe we need Vando back because LaVine won't solve our problems to where we need to. LaVine solves a lot. You get Vando and LaVine, right? So you have a healthy Vando, you have a healthy LaVine. You basically solved all of your problems except for like multiple shooters and like a big man for like Joel Embiid and guys like that. Blaming him for players have no energy and the Sixers making shots is crazy. Man, it's the good team struggle. We're struggling against good teams. If we had Vando and Cam, we probably would have still lost because we look at the other players, they didn't show up. Vando, Cam wouldn't have made any better. Look, I'm not saying, again, Vando and like this type of game, you're probably losing regardless. But one, with Vando and Cam patrolling the perimeter and actually contesting shots and their size and their length and them hounding the basketball, do they shoot the lights out like that? Something you got to keep in mind, right? Like, do they make 23 threes when they have those guys? I mean, if they do, you're not beating this team. You're not beating a team anyway. If a team makes 23s, you're not beating them. It doesn't matter who it is. It could be the Detroit Pistons. You're not beating that team. But do they shoot that well if they have LeBron, if they have Vando and Cam Reddish as one? But I'm talking more just in general. I'm talking about the game in and game out. Like, these type of games happen, right? Like, every team gets blown out by 30 or 40 or whatever. Like, it happens, right? It's just game in and game out is my point. If we get DeMar and Caruso, though, I'd be for it. Yeah. My other thing is, too, is I think we could get DeMar DeRozan for essentially free. Like, I don't even think we'd have to give up a first-round pick to get DeMar. Because, like, what are the other options? Like, how many teams are going to go trade for DeMar DeRozan? And he's an expiring contract. It's like, wouldn't you rather just have, like, a young guy? Like, we'll give you, like, one or two of our young guys. So I think so my point is, like, you could trade for DeMar DeRozan and then still go make another trade. Where if you trade for Zach LaVine, you're basically done. Right? So, like, you could literally go trade for DeMar DeRozan and still go trade for, like, a Valanciunas or something like that. Right? Like the Lakers would just have more flexibility, more options. This is why D'Lo is getting traded every season because of his defense and playing sloppy basketball. Sorry, trying to find something to me real quick. Even if we played hard, we still gonna miss shots. Yeah, seriously. We have a shooting offense with no shooters, expecting them to hit 6 of 8 from when they're old. They're 3 from 8 from 3 just looked better. Yeah, and that's the problem. We're running an offense that demands guys hit shots, and nobody can hit shots. Let's see. Get DeMar and Caruso. I would love that. That's the one that I want. Also, DeMar Caruso and Drummond. Sorry, trying to find something to me. Are you gonna ignore the fact that Max Christie had 6 points in 26 minutes? Max Christie is a 20-year-old second-year player that has played like 10 NBA games. Nobody's blaming Max Christie for anything. Like, Max Christie is the last person on your list of problems. Max Christie going from basically being out of the rotation entirely and not playing a single minute at age 20 years old to now having to come in and be your starting shooting guard and defend the best player on the other team 3 straight games. Max Christie, yeah, no one's mentioned Max Christie. No one's mentioned Max Christie for a reason. Like, that's silly to even mention him in a conversation. Like no one's expecting Max Christie to be a 20 and 10 guy right now. It's when you include everything. DeMar is also highly motivated to be a Laker and return home. He will make an adjustments necessary to see fit, which is why I think DeMar DeRozan would be willing to do as much as possible to do that. Lakers should get Vu. I like Vu. I just don't like his contract, and he just signed a new one. So Lakers would be tied up in all that money for a long time. And he's like, what? He's like 33 or something. Who's our wing defenders if we get DeMar DeRozan? You'd still have Cam Reddish and Jared Vanderbilt. Like literally, my starting five, if I got DeMar DeRozan, my starting five would be DeMar DeRozan, Cam Reddish, Jared Vanderbilt, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. Your smallest guy on the court would be DeMar DeRozan, and he's been a better defender than he's been a better defender than D'Lo, and he's been a better defender than Zach LaVine. So he's serviceable defensively. You have a guy that's been elite defensively this year in Cam Reddish, and I know people are like, you over exaggerate elite, or people over exaggerate elite. No, he's literally been elite. He's leading the league in deflections, averaging 3 steals a game. He's been an absolute menace on the defensive side. Like Cam Reddish has been elite defensively. He not talking historically great, but he's been elite this year defensively. And then Jared Vanderbilt is arguably the best on-ball defender in the league, right? So you have those two with Anthony Davis. You're the best defense in the league. You have DeMar DeRozan, Anthony Davis, and LeBron James to handle your offensive workload. You're fine. Like, you're fine. You have nice balance of defense and offense. You're going to win more games than you're going to lose. So that's where I'm with the LaVine crowd. Nothing against DeRozan, but if the team can add a player like LaVine, they should. Like LaVine, they should. Look, again, I like it. I just don't like his salary. Like, that $40 million is tough because he's not a $40 million a year player. Like, he's good. Don't get me wrong, but he's not $40 million a year good. Right? Like, he's not, like, you're talking superstar money. Like, he's not even a top 20, 25 player. Maybe you can make an argument top 25. I probably can make a better argument that he's not. And so what? He's top 30? Like, y'all didn't see enough Drummond in 2020, 2021. Well, first off, he averaged a double-double for us and was actually very good for us. But a couple things. One, since then, he's been sent to the bench as a backup big, and he's been the best backup big in the league the last few years. Two, his mindset and his just outlook is completely different. He has a whole interview that I posted on this channel where he talked about his issues and where he was. The Lakers wanted to re-sign Drummond. He just wanted max money, and they didn't want to pay him max money because it didn't make any sense. They didn't want all their money tied up into Drummond and Anthony Davis. Otherwise, Andre Drummond would probably still be a Laker. Andre Drummond wasn't bad. Like, people think like Andre Drummond was like terrible for us. He wasn't. The guy averaged a double-double, and we probably win the championship with him. But Anthony Davis gets hurt. If Anthony Davis doesn't get hurt, we probably are off to the races. LeBron needs his top 10 All-NBA 30-year-old goal star self-create. We can rely on DeMar, though. He's more dependable. Who's scoring more for the Bulls right now, DeMar or LaVine? Whose percentage is better? Well, they're both not playing great right now. DeMar's been slightly better than LaVine, but neither of them have been fantastic. Exactly. That's my point. Like, yeah, like, oh, we can't trade for him. He's a winner. Like, nobody's been a winner the last, like, handful of years. I still blame Josh Giddey. Let's see. DeMar cannot play in our lineup. You can't run DeMar, LeBron, and AD. Who's defending the wings? I just answered that question. Sorry, trying to find something to me. I'm not saying this would have changed the outcome of the game, but missing 4 key rotation players, 3 of which are your best perimeter defenders, obviously put less pressure on the Sixers. Oh, absolutely. Agree. If they still shoot this way, you're not beaten. But over game in and game out, it would have been a lot different. Oh, no, if LaVine is inconsistent, leave him where he's at part of it. Yeah, but his inconsistency is not like D'Lo's inconsistency. Like, his inconsistency, he'll still give you like 15 to 18 points, right? But like, he's not like D'Lo and Reeves when they're having a bad game, they're literally unplayable at times. LaVine isn't that bad. Like LaVine, like there's never a time where you like can't play LaVine, but LaVine can get a little like shot happy or chuck happy, and like when he's off, he's off. Um, Salaries be damn, you're trying to win. Yeah, but the problem is if you don't win, you're tied in. Where like at least DeMar, like you have flexibility there. Um, let's see. What is the starting lineup you have in mind? Um, Talking about like right now, D'Lo, Reddish, Vando, LeBron, and AD is the starting five I'd throw out there. And then if we do make a trade for LaVine or DeMar, then you just swap D'Lo with one of those guys. Let's see. We have one-on-one offense, anyways. What's the problem with DeMar doing it? He'll connect at least, not go 0-50 now. Doing it, yeah. DeMar would be fine. DeMar is not a defender, never has been. He's a cone on that end. He's not. He at least puts in effort. He's not a good defensive guy, but Lakers need to play better. Yep. Defend better. Go Lakers. I agree. Every single contender in history needs help. Every single contender can't be the sole offensive engine like LeBron's been for us. Agreed. Absolutely. Let's see. We live and die by the trade, essentially. The positions matter though. I'd take DeRozan over D'Lo, but who's our point guard? Then LeBron can't do it a whole game for 82. DeMar DeRozan's played point guard for the Spurs. He played in Pop's system. He absolutely can run plays for us and initiate the offense. LeBron James is even with D'Lo and guys like that, he is the point guard. Like D'Lo most of the time just brings the ball up and gives it to LeBron anyway, right? Or he brings the ball up and gives it to Austin Reeves or whatever anyway. It'd be a lot of the same things. Like the Lakers would be fine. DeMar DeRozan can handle the playmaking duties if we were to get him. Can we go get Maxey? If only. Let's see. Lakers need to trade D'Lo. Yeah, they probably will. My trade idea is getting DeMar Caruso and Drummond for D'Lo, Rui, Jay Hood, and a second round pick and pick swaps. I would love. You're gonna have to give up a first though for Caruso because there's a team that's gonna give up a first for Caruso. Like there's these contending teams that know that they have like the 25th pick in the draft and don't care and just want to win a championship. So Lakers, which is why I have concerns the Lakers get Caruso. I actually think it'll be harder for the Lakers to get Caruso than it will be to get LaVine. Like, so that's the problem. What else? MJ has those losing seasons in 01 without Pippen. Oh, people are talking the D'Lo, Vincent, Rui, JHS, and picks for LaVine, Caruso, and Drummond. Yeah, I mean, you basically have to give up whatever you can. I mean, if you could get LaVine, Caruso, and Drummond, that'd be wonderful. I miss the days when I knew that the Lakers were going to show up and play their best game every game. Those days are long gone. Yeah, the way it's been. Yeah, absolutely. What's good, bro? And you think the Lakers going to do a trade early, like the 15th before the trade deadline, or you think it's going to wait until the trade deadline to make a move? Most likely it'll be around the trade deadline because the only move I see right now is the Bulls. Now, granted, that could change between now and the next 2 months. But as of right now, the most likely it's going to be the Bulls, which Chicago's going to wait till the last minute. Because it's in their best interest to wait till the last minute. drive up demand for Caruso, drive up demand for a team that got a player hurt that may go, hey, we need to get DeMar if we want to stay afloat, like whatever. Like the Bulls are going to want to push it as long as they can. Let's see. Is a vet season vet. I wish I could add gifts with someone sprinkling seasoning. DeMar is like, y'all tripping. I've been wanting DeMar for 3 years ago. Yeah, I think DeMar would be fine. I mean, look, there's always the concern and possibility, absolutely, because he's not known to be a good 3-point shooter, but I think he'll be fine. We don't need new players. We need coaching staff and system, not calling timeouts when opponents have 18-2 runs is disgusting. We need coach. Again, okay, you swap Darvin Ham right now for whatever coach you want. Prime Phil Jackson. It means nothing. Phil Jackson can't force guys to hit shots. Can't force guys to stop turning the ball over. Can't force guys to offensive rebound. Can't force guys to show up with effort. Coaching only goes so far. Right? Like everyone just wants to blame the coach for everything. When do we blame the players? Right? I'm not saying Darvin Ham isn't accountable. He absolutely is. He's a part of this problem, but he's not the main. Like everyone just thinks that, like, not everybody, I shouldn't say everybody, but a lot of people think like if we just swap Darvin Ham right now, everything would be fixed. That's it. Lakers are the best team in the league. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that at all. Let's see. You can trade for DeMar and keep Reeves. Yeah, I think so too. I'm not saying that you do that. I'm just saying, but I'm talking more so LaVine. Like LaVine, they might go, hey. And you got to understand, we probably have more competition for LaVine than we do for DeMar. I don't think that there's a lot. I mean, it's already been reported that there's not a lot, but still. Sorry, trying to find something to me. I think LeBron can run the point guard when it matters. Absolutely. Dude, I would love Lauri Markkanen. Like that would be fantastic. Just get to the damn playoffs. If we get to playoffs, I think this team is better built for the playoffs. I also think we have several guys that are known to step up better in the playoffs, but still, it's like, yeah, Lauri Markkanen. I just don't. I see him out of our price range, but I would love it. If the Lakers ever had a realistic shot at getting him, I think you go get him. Just got to wait until this team is really healthy to really see who the Lakers are. I agree to an extent. There's a lot of things going on with the Lakers that are beyond just injuries. Problem with C. Wood is he's making a vet minimum, so you're not going to get very many. Chicago probably won't give up Carter or Caruso. Yeah, probably not. Although I could see a team kind of putting in a tough, like, here's a trade for Caruso that we can't say no to. Now y'all can bump me with that mess. Reeves will remain a Laker. I don't see him going anywhere. I don't hate the trade, but we just patch up some problems to introduce some more. I feel like not necessarily. I mean, again, I'm not worried about like the playmaking. If you get a DeMar DeRozan or anything like that, I'm not. But it doesn't. Again, it doesn't fix everything. But every team has issues. Every team has holes. Every team has problems. Let's see. Sorry, trying to. Oh shit! Did someone compliment the Lakers while Tyrese Barron? Quickly catch him with your ball. In the playoffs and showed up in every series. Leave that man alone. He'll be fine. Yeah, I don't see Reeves getting moved most likely. Again, it was just kind of a, hey, this don't be shocked type thing. Let's see. Sorry, trying to find something to me. Tyrese is over here just starting a war. Um, let's see. Tim and Tyrese are the same person. Are they the same person? Sorry, I'm trying to find something towards me. There's just, I'm like half reading this war. It's hilarious. Uh, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. But he would be very hard to trade because not many teams need him. Um, so, and LaVine is a better fit, better play. Like Russ's issue was more just the fit. Um, but like LaVine, I don't have a question about their fit, about his fit. My issue is just that 40 million is a lot for a guy that's not 40 million. Like he's like 30 million, sure, 35 million maybe, but LaVine just had 36. Yeah. Are the Bulls tanking or are they just bad? They're just bad. They really are. They're just bad. Hopefully, we can pull off at least 2 wins out of the next three. We should be able to pretty set easily beat the Rockets and the Pistons. I agree. I am with you. I mean, look, as bad as like frustrated as we've been, like today with this game, we're still like what, like 7-3 or 7-4 in our last like 11. So it hasn't been that bad. You want to run an all-win starting lineup, bro? Yeah, because you got LeBron James, and LeBron James can play point guard. All you need somebody to do is just step up and initiate the offense, which you have plenty of guys that can do it. Um, I feel like the team. I think injuries are the villain here. These guys are probably tired from overcompensating. I think that that's to an extent. To an extent, but the problems go beyond just injuries, right? Definitely part of it. Definitely part of it. And I do think once everyone's back and healthy, it'll be a lot better. But I do think that it's beyond that. Um, if y'all think they could split point guard duties enough, I'm all for the trade. Yeah. And I mean, like I said, you'd have enough. And again, you just need somebody that can initiate the sets. Do the Bulls even want Caruso? They do, but they like if they can get somebody to overpay for him, they'll trade him. Which is why I don't think the Lakers will get Caruso. Because I think the Lakers are going to end up having to overtrade or overpay, and I don't even think that they have enough for what they want them to overpay for. Um, I don't think getting rid of Ham will fix everything, but it wouldn't hurt if Ham got more creative. LeBron at point, Reddish and Vando, Jr. small forward, Wood at center, and AD at power forward. The reason LeBron plays power forward is because he has to and he wants to. Right? I mean, even Darvin Ham talked about it in the offseason. At LeBron's age, he has to play power. Like so many people think, like, oh, Darvin Ham just refuses to play two bigs. It's not that. Darvin Ham does it all the time. He just can't because LeBron James has to play the four at this stage of his career. He can't start at the point guard. He can't start at the 2 or the 3 or anything like that. I mean, he can in spots, but you're gonna end up running him to the ground. Yeah, seriously, facts. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I'm about to skate out of here in a minute. Um, yeah, yeah, which will make it easier. Um, which would make it easier, a lot easier. Um, DeRozan is a better value than LaVine. I think so too. I do too, which is why I lean towards them trading. I just think you'll end up having you're overpaying for LaVine. Um, sorry, I'm trying to find something towards me. Um, I don't think there is anything left towards me. That's fine. Um, yeah. All right. I think I got to the end of the chat. So I appreciate you all so very much for hanging out with me. I'm gonna skate on out of here. You guys are beautiful. Hopefully we get this win against the Pistons. We need it, and we need it badly, badly. But anyway, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button on the way out. I really appreciate y'all, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.